the last video we talked a lot about tonality, what it means for music to have a specific key. Say if we take, for example, G major or F sharp minor or whatever key you choose, those principal notes, those tonics as we call them in music, those notes have specific importance, those G's and F sharps, whatever note is the tonic for that key. But it turns out that there's a lot more we can figure out from the key of a piece of music. Specifically, there's what we call the key signature. And what the key signature is it's a pattern of ways we raise notes or lower notes in that key. Take, for example, Bach's Minuet in G. So Bach's Minuet in G is written in G major, which means that that G has specific importance. But the fact that it's in G major also tells us its key signature, which in this case is F sharp. So that means whenever we play an F, we actually raise that up to an F sharp. F sharp. This also happens in more contemporary music. If we take a more contemporary example. What would I do without your smart mouth? Grabbing me and you kicking me out. So that's John Legend's All of Me, which is written in F minor, which means that the F has specific importance. But it also means that it tells us the key signature. So in that F minor scale, we have an A flat, a B flat, a D flat, and an E flat. So that's the key signature for F minor. So in the same way, whenever we have a key for a piece of music, we can find out the key signature, so we can always find out how we lower and raise notes in that scale or in that piece. And to be able to find out what the key signature is for a specific key, we need to first familiarize ourselves with something called the order of sharps. So the order of sharps is a really useful sequence of letters, essentially, when we're dealing with finding key signatures. The order of sharps is a sequence of letters, and it does need to be memorized because it shows up again and again when we're dealing with key signatures. So the order of sharps is F, C, G, D, A, E, B. And we're going to go into how we actually use this order real quick, but I just want to go over a really useful mnemonic that most students learn when they're dealing with the order of sharps, and it's fat cats go down alleys eating bologna. And I just always think that's such a great mnemonic for remembering. I never forget the order of sharps just using this. But for actually using this, there's a rule that we apply to find out what sharps are in a key. So if it's a key that has sharps, what you do is you start from the tonic of the key. Start from tonic. And so for a key like G major, the tonic would be G. And then you go down a half step from the tonic. Go down a half step. And then that tells you the last sharp in the key signature. In key signature. So let's take, for example, G major. G going down a half step would give us F sharp. And since F sharp is the first sharp in the order of sharps, that's our only sharp in the corresponding key signature. So if we were to go ahead and write that on a staff, if we were going to write G major on a staff, we'd have, I'll use treble clef just for convenience. We just have F sharp, and that'd be our entire key signature. So whenever we have an F in a piece of music that's in G major, that would be raised to an F sharp. Let's try another example with A major. So we'd apply the same process. With A major, we'd go down a half step to G sharp, and then going back to our order of sharps, we find that G sharp is the third sharp in the order of sharps. So going from left to right, the sharps that are included are F, C, and our last one is G. Remember, we always include all of the sharps leading up to that last sharp. So in this case, A major has 3 sharps, F, C, and G, in that order. So if we were to write that on a staff, we'd have F sharp, C sharp, G sharp. And there we go, A major. And in the same way we can do the reverse process. We can take a key signature, and from the key signature we can get the name of the key. So I have an example here with 5 sharps. So just applying the same process, we have that A sharp is the last sharp in the series. So just going up a half step from each A sharp, it goes to B. And then we know that B major is our key. So just keep track of whether you're going a half step up or a half step down, depending on whether you're going from the name of the key to key signature, or vice versa, from the key signature to the name of the key. And similarly, there's a very similar process for finding the flats in a key. I'll use a different color here. Order of flats. Order of flats. So our order of flats is going to be B, E, A, D, G, C, F. Which seems just like another thing to memorize, right? But it's really interesting how it turns out that, going back to the order of sharps, the order of sharps is F, C, G, D, A, E, B. But it just happens to be true that the order of flats is the exact reverse of the order of sharps, F, C, G, D, A, E, B. So that may help you whenever you're trying to memorize these, because it is really important to memorize these sequences. But now going forward, you want to find out how we can use the order of flats to find out what flats are in a key. And so that the rule for that ends up being, let's say we have a key like B flat major. So it ends up being true that the tonic of the key is the second to last flat in the sequence, in the key signature. So tonic is second to last flat. So in this case, B flat major, the B flat is the second to last flat, so the last flat is actually E flat. So right, B flat major has B flat and E flat. So let me show you what I mean in an example on the staff. So since we have B flat and E flat in B flat major, let's draw our treble clef again. Hope I'm not offending any violists or cellists that have to use bass or alto clef. But so B flat major has B flat and E flat. And then looking back, we can see that B flat, which is the tonic, is also the second to last flat. So that's how we find the key signature from the name of the key. And then we can also again do the reverse. From this Pernod example, we have 4 flats. So this is the second to last flat here, and it happens to be A flat, which means that the tonic is A flat. Or in other words, we have A flat major. So as long as we know the rules for going using the order of sharps and order of flats, then it's very simple to go back between key signatures and the name of the keys. So hopefully this gave you a better understanding of how keys work in music, and hopefully by now you can get from the name of key to the key signature, and also vice versa, go from the key signature and find out what key we're in. So hopefully that was helpful, and see you in the next video.